When we talk about solo travel, one person comes to mind, Lisa Niver. We first met Lisa Niver when she set out on a journey to do 50 new things before turning 50. And now she's an award-winning travel expert who has explored 102 countries on 6 continents. She's also the author of a new book titled Bravish: One Breakup, 6 Continents, and Feeling Fearless After 50. Today, she's joining us to talk about her adventures and give us her insights on solo travel, and also to spread the news that you'll be seeing a lot more of Lisa during the 9th season here on the Jet Set. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Oh my goodness. It is so great to be back with you, Bobby and Nikki. I'm so happy to be part of your show.
Well, we are happy to have you back. And before we dive into all of this solo travel and what we can look forward to in the year ahead, we have to talk about the last time we saw you on the show, where you brought us an inside scoop on the largest ship on the seas, Icon of the Seas. What was being on that ship like?
You know, it was so incredible. The ship is larger than an aircraft carrier, but it is so well constructed. There's 40 different places to eat and drink. You can always find a quiet corner, and they have special neighborhoods. So it's the first ship with Surfside, which is a neighborhood specifically for people with young children. They have an adults only hideaway. I loved it. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. There's music, there's dancing, there's obviously food. The rooms were beautiful. I loved it. You have to go.
That's good. Well, I know that one of us amongst this family is absolutely dying to go.
You know, I haven't been on a solo trip in a really long time, but Nikki has. And you say, Nikki, that your trip to Egypt kind of changed your perspective.
It absolutely changed my life when you can be by yourself and experience something so immense and have that experience. And also, like Lisa says, it really makes you feel brave.
Now, speaking of feeling brave, Lisa, what would you say are some essential tips for someone planning their first solo trip?
So that's such a good question. So one of the things for myself is I really pay attention to the flight times and my hotel stay. You know, some people like to just show up and figure out where they're going to stay. If I'm getting in the later afternoon or the evening, I want to know where am I staying and how am I going to get from the airport there that I feel safe with that.
Peace of mind is priceless. Hey, Lisa, how do you manage loneliness or homesickness while you're on the road by yourself?
So one of the things that I try to do is when I'm away, I have a lot of books on my Kindle. That keeps me company. Like I was staying at the Conrad Tulum, and I found this outside bar where you could order dinner. And I sat in a lounge chair with my book. I got a huge sparkling water. I sat under the stars, and I did not feel lonely at all.
I'm gonna say, that sounds amazing. Now, do you have any advice for some introverted travelers who might find solo travel a little bit daunting?
I'd say for an introvert, maybe one of the things that would help is to find a tour that's also on a podcast. Like if you were traveling in Europe, I know you can listen to Rick Steves as you walk around, and that might be one way to feel not overwhelmed by all the senses, because you're listening and you have a little bit like almost, you know, a bubble for yourself. I think that can make a difference. And for some people, I don't mind to eat in a restaurant by myself, but I know one of the things that comes up a lot is the eating alone. And you don't have to have a huge meal alone for your first meal. You could go to a cafe or go to the supermarket. Once when I was staying in London, I had a picnic in my robe in my hotel room. So I think, you know, thinking about what makes you happy and what's comfortable for you is the most important thing.
I think that Nikki has picnics in her room for breakfast, because when we travel together, she's like, I'll see you at noon. You don't see her before at least lunchtime.
Yeah, I love having hotel room picnics in my robe alone. I just absolutely love it. Now, we love your book. It's called Bravish. For those who haven't heard about it, tell them about it.
Thank you so much. So Bobby and Nikki are in my book, actually, because I did 50 challenges before I turned 50 after my divorce to reinvent myself. I was just not sure how to get started again. My life had completely, as I would say, went off the rails. And I just got to do so many different adventures. I skied with the blind. I went on the Olympic bobsled. I came on your show and talked on TV, and each challenge was little. I always tell people small steps lead to big changes. You don't know what's going to happen You just have to keep trying. And sometimes it seems like you're at a dead end, or, the end of the labyrinth, and you have to maybe spin around 180 degrees and try something else or do the same thing again. But eventually those teeny tiny steps really do add up.
That advice can be applied to like every part
Yeah.
of life. Now, aside from tuning into the Jet Set throughout our next year ahead, where we're going to be seeing a lot more of you, where can people go and follow your adventures?
So I have 2 websites right now. There's a lot of information about my book at lisaniver.com, and so much travel inspiration at wesaidgotravel.com. But across social media and YouTube, you can find me at Lisa Niver.
Well, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on the show. We've got to take another short break, but don't go anywhere. We've still got lots more of the Jet Set still to come.